Welcome to ClubRackets.com, Sheffield's racket sports shop. Today I'm going to pick out my top 5 badminton rackets for 2021. We can't play badminton at the moment in England due to a national lockdown, but when we get back to the sport and you want some new rackets for 2021 or you want some Christmas presents for friends and family, I'd strongly consider any of the rackets that are coming up, because I get to play with a lot of rackets and these 5 have just stood out to me as just having that little bit extra, and they've earned a place in my badminton bag to play with. Right, so the first racket on the list is not a great surprise. It's the latest racket from Yonex, the Astrox 100ZZ. Yonex always makes stunning rackets used by the top pros, and they're very desirable things and really rewarding to use. I love the Astrox 100ZZ. It's really powerful, surprisingly easy to use in various areas of the court. I love the manoeuvrability around the front court, the touch, and when you really wind it up for a smash, it's really stiff, as you would expect top Japanese Yonex rackets to be, but it has an extra little bit of snap back in the shaft that when you get the racket head moving fast for a smash or a clear, you can feel that working with you to give you extra bit of power. We've already done a big long review when this came out, so find that on our channel if you want a bit more information. But it's a lovely looking piece of kit, sort of matte sort of paintwork. It comes in a 4U, which I prefer because it's nice and light and quick, or a 3U if you're an absolute beast and you have to use a heavy racket, but a great thing. It's been a really good seller in the shop. Was selling really well before lockdown. It's 176 quid at the moment, which sounds a lot, but it's worth every penny. And you know, if you're a serious badminton player with good sort of intermediate to advanced skills, I think you you can't really beat it. Right, little clip of Victor Axelsen with the Astrox 100ZZ. It's too good a clip not to use, and then I'll come back with the second racket on the list. Okay, second racket on my list is a racket that I've had in my bag for a little while. It's the Li-Ning Caliber 900 Drive. It's 83 grams, so it's on the lighter side. It's a really well balanced racket, quick, and just an exceptional build quality. It has that really solid feel when you hit something. It's the racket that Chen Long uses in his matches, so it's suitable for really top class players, but I also find it very usable as well. It's nice and quick on the smashes and the drives, and just generates a lot of power. It's a lovely steel and gold kind of colour scheme. I've got Li-Ning number 1 in there at the moment. It's gone a bit soft. I think I'll change it back to my normal setup, maybe the 65 Ti or perhaps BG80. Not a great fan of thin strings myself. It's got a nice thin handle, so you can get a nice lot of movement around, as all the sort of Li-Ning rackets do. They tend to have quite thin handles, and just generally a nice piece of kit. I prefer it to the 2 other 900s that I've got in. The Boost and the Combat, because it's just a bit lighter and a bit easier to get along with. The Combat is quite heavy, quite stiff. The Boost sort of in between, but this one just suits me the best. I'm always looking for top end rackets because I like playing with nice things, but I also need something that's a bit manageable as well, because like a lot of you out there, I'm not the best player in the world, but it's always nice when you find something that just works for you. Racket number 3 on the list is the Kawasaki King K8. An absolute stunning looking racket, and probably one that most of you will never have heard of. Now, I used to import Kawasaki rackets from China directly, but found it was too much effort. I prefer just selling things so somebody else does it now. But I've had them for quite a while, and I've been surprised by the build quality and the feel that you get out of them. The King K8 is one of their top rackets. It's quite light racket, lightweight, stiff shaft, head heavy balance. It's not too head heavy, so it's still manoeuvrable. It's not like a chunk of iron. It's very light, very quick. Got a nice detailing on there. It's got a really solid T-joint, which makes it feel really stable, and lovely looking racket. I've got pink BG80 in this, which has proved to be a great combination. A, it looks absolutely mint, but B, it just gives a really good sound and power on the hit, and a pink grip just to finish it off. Again, it comes with a really thin handle, so I've just bulked it up a little bit just for me. Really love the racket. It's really good sort of around the net. It's not a girl's racket just because it's pink, but it would be suitable for people who like to play mid and front court, as well as getting a a quick smash from the back. Just lovely. So give it a go. One of the coolest things about the King K8 is that it comes in a really nice presentation box, sort of almost iPhone style. So if I just crack into it, it's got a nice picture of the racket on the top. And then inside it's got a little cover sheet with King K8 written in Chinese, and then you've got your racket inside, comes unstrung in the box, and then once you've got that out, there's a little goodie box here with the nice folded sort of racket cover with Kawasaki on it, a set of Kawasaki strings, which are actually pretty decent. Still going to stick to Yonex myself, but they're not bad at all. And an overgrip, and then sort of some advertising bump. But really nice. Would make a great Christmas present for a badminton fan. Racket number 4, we're back to Yonex, and we've got the 88D. It comes out in 2 colours at the moment, the ruby red, which has been out for a while, and the red and white, which is a bit newer. It's a really nice racket designed for doubles. It's the 88 Dominate. It's to dominate from the rear court with its speed and its smash. The 88s were made for Marcus Finaldi Gideon and Kevin Sanjaya, who are the top men's doubles pair. The Dominate for the more rear court player, and the Skill for the more forecourt player. The 88D, it is a top end Yonex Japanese racket, but it's pretty usable for everyone. I've had it in my bag for a long time, and I tend to give it to people if they want a racket to play with. Given it's beginners, intermediates, and good players, and they've all enjoyed playing with it. It's very much a pick it up and play with it racket because of its nice sort of balance, and it's got a bit of head weight, which helps people out. These are on incredible offers at the moment. I don't think Yonex have sold enough rackets this year like anybody, so they've put a bit of an offer on, which I'm passing on to you. So we've got some incredible prices for them. They'll probably come out in another colour next year. I don't think they'll stop making them, so the price will go bang back up again. So if you want some, now's the time. Great racket, nothing bad to say about it. Best seller since it came out. Right, and last but no means least on the list is the Victor Aura Speed 90K. Now this is probably the racket that I've used the least on the list, but when I have played with it I've really liked it. I've used the 90S a fair bit, which has been out a bit longer, which is a 3U racket and quite head light, so you've got nice weight to it. The 90K is a 4U, a little bit more even balance, and that just gives it a nice control sort of around the court. Very powerful, very quick, used by Anders Antonsen, top singles player at the moment. It generates great amount of power, and this is one of the rackets that I'm really looking forward to playing with after lockdown. So I'm going to put some fresh strings in mine, and give it some stick after when I can play again. So that's my list for 2021. They're all top end rackets, they're all pretty pricey, but I'm lucky I own the shop, I get to play with what I want. It's my opinion on the rackets. It's rackets that work well for me and my game, and ones that I'm playing with at the moment. If you've got other ideas, feel free to comment below and tell me what your top rackets are, what you play with or what you'd love to play with, and I'd just be interested to know.